We're live and welcome to the first live stream of 2020. If you are watching, please give me a wave and I'll say hello. So today's live stream, I'm going to be giving you some top tips on the best way to approach social media for 2020. It's the new year, it's the fresh start, everyone's got all the fantastic resolutions for their business. So I thought we'd kick off the year with some good top tips about how to approach social media. And as always, if you are watching live, give me a wave and I will say hello. Ask me any questions that you want to as well. You know, this is your opportunity to ask me any questions, whatever they might be. Generally to do social media is good. So yeah, ask to type in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on my Facebook group, then just type in the chat and I will answer any questions that you have. And if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to make sure you subscribe to my channel too. Okay, so Happy New Year, Amanda. Hello. Hi, Heather. Happy New Year. Nice to see you guys back. Hope you've had a fantastic Christmas and New Year. I've had a very busy one, and far too much chocolate. So yes, trying to abstain from chocolate today. Right, okay, so if you are watching, let me know any questions that you have. Today is going to be a general overview of social media, okay? And I'm going to give you 4 really good main objectives that you need to be addressing for your social media for 2020. And why am I talking about this? I mean, why did I come up with this subject? I just thought that actually social media has changed vastly. It's changed vastly over the last 5 years. What used to be quite simple, go on as a business, go on, launch on social media, get loads of followers, get loads of visibility. Used to be quite simple 5 years ago. It really isn't simple anymore. It's really difficult to get seen now if you're just launching as a new business or if you've got business pages on your social media. It doesn't matter whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn. It's hard because it's really, really competitive now. So many businesses are now looking to social media to promote their services, to promote their products. Therefore, it's a very, very crowded space. So what worked 5 years ago doesn't necessarily work today. So today I'm going to be talking about what that strategy needs to be in order to make your social media a success for this year. Oh, hi Esther, Happy New Year. Right, okay. So the first thing that I always ask all my clients when I work with them is, 1, why are you on social media? What are you hoping to achieve? This is the biggest question because the majority of companies I work with all know they need to be on social media. They want to be on social media and they've listened to all their friends who have other businesses or other competitors and they're like, we need to be on social media because they are. We need to be on Instagram because they are. We need to be on Twitter because they are. We need to be on Facebook because they are. And that's not necessarily the right answer. What you need to be thinking about is what is your objective for social media? What are you hoping to achieve? Because it's not about selling. And again, you've got to move away from selling. So first of all, is it about brand awareness? You just want to build your brand, which is great and is a really good objective. Is it about generating leads, generating business inquiries, which probably for the majority of us it is? Is it about gaining customer feedback? Maybe you want to use social media to get customer feedback, which is a great objective to use it for. And maybe it's just you just want to sort of warm up to opportunities that potentially are in your company. There are a number of different reasons why you should be on social media. And depending on what reason that is, depends on what social media channel you should be on. So be really, really clear. So as you start this new year, think about, right, what do I want to get out of my social media? What is it I want to achieve? Because just posting for the sake of posting, just posting because we think we should be on social media is not the right strategy. We've got to set ourselves clear objectives, targets, and monitor to make sure we're achieving that, because we can waste, as we all know, so much time just posting stuff on social media to not get anything in return, and it can be a real time waster if we're not careful. So have a really clear think about why you're on social media. And again, if you want to type in the chat, feel free to type in the chat and tell me why you use social media and how it's worked for you. Okay, so the second thing then, once we've determined why we want to be on social media, what we want to achieve, and achieving is not just selling stuff. Also, this is not why we should be on social media, unless you want to pay a lot of money on advertising. But for organic reaches, we just want to be clear that it's not a hard sell. Okay, it doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay, so now we know why I want to be on social media. So maybe our objective is building our brand awareness. So who do we need to brand who do we need to build our brand awareness with? Who is our ideal customer? The wrong answer is anybody. It's very, very difficult to appeal to anyone and everybody. Okay, so you have to be really clear about who your target audience is. Yeah. So when I worked for Nomad Games, I had to be really, really clear. When I joined the team selling video games, I was told our target audience was anyone in the world. Well, I knew that anyone in the world, I did not have that type of budget to access anyone in the world. So for me, it was about breaking that down, thinking about the products that we sold. So we sold board games that we converted into digital adaptations. But not only that, they were quite specific board games. There were a lot that were done with Games Workshop and things, and wargaming type games. So I knew it would appeal to a certain type of person. War games, board games, probably blokes. So I narrowed it down to blokes. I then thought about, well, what areas of the world is this most popular? And believe it or not, we created a board game called Talisman. Massively iconic cult following in Poland. So I targeted Poland. So again, we had to look at the games and translate them into Polish. So this is why my social media strategy was so successful, was because I did a lot of my marketing, a lot of the posts appealed to people in Poland. So again, it's about understanding your audience. Who's going to buy from you? Who's really going to buy from you? Who's really going to be interested in what you're offering? Okay. So have a think about your customers. What do they like? What do they want to see on social media? Not necessarily be sold to, but what do they like on social media? How can you solve their problems with your products and services? How can you solve their problems? How can you make their lives easier with your products and services? How can you help them? How can you, improve their lives or make their lives better with your products? So have a think about that. How can you solve their problems? And then talk around those problems, ask questions about those problems, talk about how your products can help, give them that lifestyle, give them that vision of how you can improve their lives through your product. Okay. And then have a think about what platforms you should be on. And again, I mentioned this earlier, it's not about, so for example, I was working with a client a few months back who wanted to be on Instagram. Yeah. And I was like, well, why do you want to be on Instagram? And they're like, because everyone keeps telling me I need to be on Instagram. I was like, yes, but what's your objective? What do you hope to achieve through Instagram? Because this was a local company that offers a service. It wasn't something that people could buy online. And I'm like, well, Instagram gets loads and loads of likes and engagement, much more than Facebook. Okay. But what's your objective? Is your objective just to get lots of likes because it's brand awareness? Yes, then maybe Instagram's the right place. Like, well, no, I need bookings into the salon. I was like, okay, well, if you need bookings into the salon, a load of likes on Instagram isn't necessarily going to achieve that objective. Whereas on Facebook, you can put a link straight through to book an appointment. So it's about getting your head in the right space. Just because you're getting loads of engagement doesn't necessarily mean it's giving you the objective that you require. So again, focus on 1 or 2 social media platforms that are going to achieve that objective for you. Don't go and launch on loads of social media platforms and then not being able to keep up on top with it. So have a real think about who that target audience is. Okay. So the third thing then, so we thought about why we're on there, what our objective is. We want to be clear on who our audience is and what social media platform will capture that audience, where your audience is hanging out. But the third thing as well is about what I like to call building your tribe, building your community. Now, I spent years in the public sector building my community, and it's not been a digital community. However, the principles of building a community are completely the same, whether you're meeting people face to face or whether you're talking to them online. So I'll give you an example. I used to work at Manchester City Council, and I used to manage the environmental campaigns team. And every year we had 100 days to clean up Manchester. It was a campaign. We did an initiative every day for 100 days. And it was about engaging the community to keep Manchester clean, to get rid of graffiti, to get rid of litter, to plant flowers and improve their local community spaces. Now, I knew that me banging on to them, sending them loads of messages saying this street's a right mess, clean it up, you need to help us, stop dropping litter, just doesn't work. So what my team and I had to do was come up with initiatives that would engage the community, that would bring them on board, that would excite them. We had a community guardian scheme, which was basically having a core number of people who really resonated with what we were trying to achieve, but we used the people in the community to go out and spread our messages for us. Okay, so they were our champions. They'd go out and they'd engage and they'd get people on board to sell our message. And this is why it was so successful. We worked with the Home Office, got funding through the Home Office. And year on year, this campaign was extremely successful. We were seen as a sort of a nationally, other local authorities copied what we were doing because we were using our community as ambassadors for us. They were going out there, and because their friends and family trusted them, they would listen to them and they would implement some of these strategies. Whereas us council people going out there, knocking on doors, going, come on, help us plant some plants for Britain in Bloom. We need to do the litter picking initiative here. There's a load of fly tipping over there. They'd be like, well, that's what I pay my council tax for. But we didn't have the luxury of accessing the council tax. It's allocated to other areas. So by getting the community on board and building our tribe, building our community, building our ambassadors, they did a lot of the work for us. And this is how you need to use your social media. Social media is not about popping on, doing a post and then leaving. It's about building your community. People get obsessed with how many followers they've got, how many hundreds of followers they've got. And I can tell you now, it's better to have 100 followers that are active, that follow your page, that engage, that are likely they resonate, they have the same values as you have, they know that you can help them. It's much better to have 100 engaged followers than 10,000 followers that never like you, never engage with you, and really don't interact with your social media at all. Okay, the smaller number, if you've really done your social media in the right way, a small number of followers can be really, really powerful. It's about building your ambassadors. It's about getting those small number of people to share your content, to shout about you, to give you fantastic reviews, to engage, to respond, to comment on your content. And by doing that, you then get that ripple effect. So they may tell a couple of people, who then tell a couple more, who then tell a couple more. And it's about building your community and building your tribe. Okay, but on the way to do that, you've got to know your audience. And obviously, you've got to build relationships with people. So what that means is you've got to be on social media. You can't just post and leave. It's about being sociable. It's about building relationships. And the only way you can build relationships on social media is by being human, is by turning up, by showing who you are, and by being human. And this is the one thing that will set you above everybody else, miles apart. This is the one thing that if you look at social media feeds, it's those companies that are being human, that are showing their personal side, that are really resonating with their audience and really showing how they are trying to help people. They are the ones that are getting noticed on social media. The companies that go in and are a little bit anonymous and are just posting the odd post, it might have content that resonates. There might be a lot of sales posts. They're just not getting the type of traction to those people who are a little bit different. It's very difficult to be different in this day and age because we've all got competitors. There's a lot of competition out there. The only way we can be different is by showing who we are, by being human. And by being human, that's how you start to build your community and build your tribe. Okay, so you can take that model, that I worked with communities across Manchester and Greater Manchester through some of the Green Deal programs that I ran, taking those community initiatives and then plonking that learning into social media is why the social media and why Nomad Games was so phenomenally successful with the social media I managed, because it was about building that community and bringing it into our social media. So build your community, okay? And the final thing then that I wanted to talk about today was about being consistent and about being active. So it's all very well having this fantastic community, but if you're only sort of popping in once a month to talk to them, you're going to lose them quite quickly. So it's about being consistent. Social media is about being consistent. Social media is a little bit like Big Brother. Every single platform is monitoring exactly what activity you are doing on that platform. So Facebook, for example, Facebook monitors how often you're logging in, what you're clicking on, how long you hover over a post, even if you don't click on it, how many times you're liking, engaging, and think on other people's content, what other pages you're visiting. It is phenomenal the amount of data they monitor, and that's to give you the best user experience, so that they're giving you adverts or they're recommending pages that you are liking, you're likely to like. It's very, very intelligent. So it's a bit like Big Brother, but they are doing it to improve the user experience, basically. And all the social media platforms do this. So if you are, for example, a business who uses the likes of Hootsuite, a scheduling tool, so you type in a scheduling tool, type in your posts into Hootsuite, and then that's automatically scheduling posts out across your social media platforms. Those platforms know you've not been on social media, they know you're not active, they know you're just using a third-party scheduling tool. So they're not going to give your page very much love, very much visibility, as they would a page where the users were active, so the owners were active on that page. They always prioritize pages above prioritize pages in searches above those which are not active. So for example, if you're not active on your social media pages, then pages who are more active are going to be ranking higher than you are in the searches. So again, it's really important to be active on those platforms. Liking, commenting, responding. If someone comments on a post that you've got, respond to it, say thanks, ask them a question, like every comment. You know, If people are taking the time out to respond to your social media, then the best thing you can do is reward them for that by liking it, and it's going to and then they're going to feel appreciated for sending that comment, and they're more likely to continue liking and engaging in your content in the future. So it's about being consistent and being active. And this is why you might see on a lot of my posts, I use the hashtag #GetSocial. So it's about get social, understanding social media, but it's also about being sociable on social media and being active. So those are the 4 points really that you need to have a think about for 2020 to make sure that your social media is a success. So you need to think about, just to summarize, why you're on social media, clear on who your audience is on social media, build your community, forget obsessing over metrics, build your community around your social media, build your tribe, who are going to be your ambassadors, and then 4, be consistent and be active on your social media platforms. And by implementing this strategy and by being consistent and planning some of your content around this, then you will significantly improve your social media approach. Okay. And if you need more help and support, obviously, I am here. I've got some workshops coming up if you are local to Warrington. I've got Facebook coming up in January. I've got a LinkedIn workshop coming up in February. I've got Instagram workshop coming up in March. So again, if you want more information, visit my Facebook page. They will all be on there. And for those of you that know, I've just launched my online Facebook course as well. So if you really need help improving your Facebook approach, learning how to use it effectively, then I've got a course as well that you can do in your own time. We've got over 40 bite-sized mini video tutorials that range from 3 minutes to 12 minutes long. So you can literally fit it around a very busy schedule. So so that's it. So that's what we need to focus on for your social media for 2020. If you've got any questions, please ask me now before I leave. And I hope you've all had a great Christmas and New Year. And I will see you next week for some more social media top tips. So join me again next week at 12:30 on YouTube or in my social media support group. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you're not watching this live, please feel free to post any comments afterwards, and I'll pick those up after as well. So have a great week all, and I will see you all next week at 12:30. See you later. Bye.